Okay, hi everybody. It's me, Magus 922. Ancient Magic Magus Bride, Season 2, Episode. One second. 5. Sorry about this. First impressions are the most lasting. Now, first impressions are the most lasting. Episode 5. So, as we said from last week, she still went back to the college with Hines and all that jazz. We had that moment with this Ivy person, Zoe, calling her a monster. Now, during this episode, I would say when he said this and then he shows himself of what he is, right off the bat, guy's a freaking hypocrite, which I will explain. Later in the episode, okay, he kind of teeters off from that. So, where we start with Chisei and Lucy. Lucy is very cold. And you can tell her character is very like she's looking out for Chisei, but she's cold about it. Like she doesn't trust people at all. But she helps her out a few things, and she says for not to act like this, not to act like that. You know, it's really telling that something's going on. When they leave their dorm rooms and they're on their way to the class, there's class about pharmaceutical kind of thing going on. I guess like chemicals and stuff, potions. Chisei runs into Jasmine. And Jasmine mentions the Webster tragedy. Now, as we know, as far as I know, Lucy's last name is Webster. So you can guess where this is going. She wanted her to elaborate. She said, just forget about it. They go on their way. They go to the class. She says she's with Rian. I like that guy. He's pretty cool. Rian. And you just see them cleaning the, beakers and whatnot. And then they go to the cafeteria. Ivy's there. He's completely ignoring Chisei. In this scene. They have their lunch or breakfast or whatever the hell they having. And they go into explanations about the 7 families that make up the 7 families of sorcerers. And we get a whole detailed explanation in the episode about Rian's family are known as protectors. That's what we know. Later on, Phileomila, we find out what her family is specified for. Now, after their meal, they go to their class. They go, no, wait. I forgot what it was. Anyway, going to their next class, she bumps into Lucy. And then they bump into Ivy again. And Chisei this time speaks up and says, "Why are you avoiding me? Did I do something wrong to you?" And he butt books it. Lucy comes in, grabs what seems to be headphones. They're not headphones. They're earmuffs. Takes it off his head. And then he says, "You're a monster!" He says that the reason you go for her is because she's a monster. Yet, you know what happens? Snakes come out of his hair. Well, his hair turns into snakes. And at that point, I'm like, you freaking hypocrite. What the hell? You calling her a monster? Snake hair boy? Let's just say that was my first impression in this situation. Later on, things open up and it doesn't become that way. But that's what we find out. And then he's got snakes for him. Anyone who knows anything about certain mythologies know he's most likely a Gorgon, which we find out in the episode. He is a Gorgon. And during this scene, Rion's there, and Isaac, he books it. Ruth comes out of the shadow to go find him. And then they're going to locate him, and she basically gets the whole story of what he is. He's a Gorgon. But later on we find out, unlike a true Gorgon, his eyes don't freeze people. It doesn't work like most people. But he still has to wear goggles and those earmuffs because he's sensitive to certain sounds and smells and all that jazz. Eventually, Lucy goes with them. They go after getting the whole rundown of him. They locate him in the garden. Phileomila's in there, in the hallway. And then they eventually find him. And he's hesitant at first. She goes right up to him. The snakes lunge and do nothing. They're just on top of her head. Eventually, they start talking and about what he is and he's a freak, blah blah blah. She explains to him why. She removes the glove. It's black. She says she has a dragon's curse. And now Ivy understands why he felt this way towards Chise. We also get a backstory of his parents. So his father is a sorcerer, and his mother was a Gorgon. And he came out of an egg. And his father's telling him to go to school, learn how to socialize with people, to make friends. That sort of thing. Eventually, we get that whole diatribe out of the way. There's this scene with Lucy, reprimanding them. I'm like, big sister. But they kind of understand each other. Apparently someone was listening in. Phileomila. Now, her family, we find out from Rian, that her family is involved with information gathering. Secretive things like that. Now, Chise tells her, he tells her not to spread this rumor of what Ivy's situation, him being a Gorgon and everything. And she says that if someone wants that information, she's going to tell them. So Chise tells her, this is a request, not an order. And then Rian then comes up with the idea they're going to make a contract. And with this contract, no one's going to say anything. Because if they do, their throats will burn, and if they write it out, their fingers will burn off or something. Now, it's obvious that this was a mistake, and he apologizes to Chise. So I'm like, okay. It was basically, when you boil it down, Ivy's problem with her was because of her curse. And you really think about it, that's the story with her, with Chise. She has 2 curses on her, and rubs off people. During them walking back, Lucy goes to Phileomila and says, I still don't trust you. You're the people who killed my, people like you killed my family. We got a close-up shot of Phileomila, her shocked face, and then I think that was it to the episode. They said they're planting trees, and no, there was one more scene. Jasmine gets confronted by Rian about blabbering off about the Webster tragedy, all this stuff, and she's like, eh. And her brother shows up, siblings, I guess. They say, oh, don't worry about it. Ainsworth is gonna teach us magic and stuff, and they go off, and that's the end of the episode. So we can always see where this is heading to. Phileomila and Lucy definitely going to be button heads at a certain point. Lucy's got a dark past, apparently. I'm guessing it has something to do, obviously, with her family. Somebody killed her family. Somebody like Phileomila. We don't know who yet. But that seems to be the case going forward. Might have something to do with Victoria. I think it does. Now, concerning Chisei, there wasn't really anything going on here. This was really, as the episode stated, first impressions that last a long time. That was the whole kit and caboodle of this episode. Now, next week's going to be different. Changing gears. We're going to have Chisei. We're going to have Elias. We're going to have Alice. Alice's master. It's all going to circle around, I think, Chisei specifically. That seems to be the case. But this was a good episode to, like, branch off and explore these characters who are in the college and to get some kind of context. What's really going on here? And how certain first impressions of Chisei are affecting certain characters. Like Lucy. But Lucy really doesn't. I think it was really Ivy, him, and Phileomila. So, if anyone's seen the closing of this show, this thing with Phileomila and Lucy, it's not going to last. This back and forth. They're doing buddy things, the closing with Chisei. So, you know. But this was a good episode. I would say 10 out of 10. It was very impactful, very dramatic, controversial. Confrontational. Things happening. But like I said, next week we're going to focus really on Chisei, Elias, and everybody else. So, it's going to be interesting. I forgot to name what the next week's episode is. I don't recall it. But this was a good one. I thought this was good. I thought, having a contract made up, having them keep it a secret, this bond that Chisei is now trying to form with her classmates. So, it's going to be interesting. This is Bankai 922. I'll see you guys later. That scene, I will say this one last thing. That confrontation with Lucy and Phileomila. Highlight of the episode. See you guys later. Peace.